The next definition that I'm going to discuss is called the cardinal number or the cardinality of a set. You already know this. Or cardinality of a set. Then what is the definition? The number of elements in a set is called its cardinal number or the cardinality of that set. It is denoted by you can either denote it by NA or it is also written as card A. Both notations work. Mostly we use NA. Okay, next definition is I don't think cardinality requires the examples. You already know what cardinality is. Equivalent sets. Two sets having the same cardinality are called equivalent sets. Okay. Now, if two sets are equal, can I say they are equivalent? Can you give me the answer to this? If two sets are equal, can I say that they are equivalent also? This is just my question to you. Tell me. Anyone? No one? If two sets are equal, then they may not be equivalent because they can have different cardinalities. Two sets having different cardinalities can be equal. I already gave you an example here. If you see in case of equal sets, if you see that these two sets here, A and B are equal, but they have different cardinalities. So therefore they are not equivalent. So if two sets are equal, does not mean that they will always be equivalent. Okay. Overlapping sets. Now overlapping sets I discussed earlier also. So very briefly, two sets A and B are said to be overlapping if they have at least one element in common. If they have at least one element in common. Okay. Mathematically, we write now here is something that I had perhaps I had not discussed. Just take note. Mathematically, A and B are said to be overlapping if and only if A intersection B is a null set, is not a null set. Okay. If A intersection B is not a null set, then we call it overlapping sets. Why? Because if A intersection B is not a null set, then they will have at least one element in common. So that we call that overlapping. Disjoint sets. Okay, two sets A and B are said to be disjoint if they have no element in common. Mathematically, A and B are said to be disjoint if and only if A intersection B is a null set. Okay. Obviously, if they have nothing in common, then A intersection B will be a null set. Now we come to the most important part, which is called the intervals of real numbers. Intervals of real numbers. Now, what do you mean by intervals? Okay, intervals are infinite sets, intervals of real numbers are infinite sets denoted by either either they are denoted by this, okay, box bracket, and you have two numbers in it separated by commas, or you can have parenthesis between A and B, parenthesis after A and B, so that you have a comma in between. So you have or this, or they are can be denoted by this also, okay, or they can be denoted by this also. Now all these have different meanings. Let's see what their meanings are. Okay, here this means this is an infinite set where A and B are where you can write A and B are real numbers. Okay. Now what does this mean? This is an infinite set X such that X lies between A and B. Okay. And X belongs to R. Okay. You understood what this means? So if I am to plot this on the number line, this infinite set, suppose I have my 0 here. If I have my say A here, obviously the lower number is written here first and then the higher number. If I have my B here, then how will I plot this? Okay. So all these values lying between A and B, this is 0. Okay. So all these values that lie between A and B, inclusive of A and B, is called this interval. This interval is called a closed interval. Closed interval. I hope this is clear, the concept of closed interval. Let's see this. This is an infinite set such that you take any number between A and B. That means this set can take any number. This set contains all the numbers, real numbers between A and B, except A and B themselves. So we write this as A less than X less than B. X belongs to R. This is the infinite set. So if I am to uh, write this, graph this on the number line, it will look like this. Okay, here this AB, and then you have AB between parentheses is called an open interval. Okay, next, this. What does this set mean? This set is also an infinite set that consists of numbers that lie between A and B, but this time all the numbers that include A, because you see box bracket is towards A. So this will include A but not B. Okay. If I want to plot this on the number line, okay, this, because it does not touch B. Okay. Also, this is also an interval. It consists of all the numbers that lie between A and B, inclusive of B this time, but not A, because you see the parenthesis is towards A. Okay. If I am again to plot this on the number line, this is what it will look like. Okay. It consists of all numbers between A and B, which are inclusive of B, but not A. Not the point A. You can have any value that is less than A, very close to A, less than A, but you cannot have the value A exactly. Okay. So these are notations for intervals. Now, what are these called? In fact, these intervals, these intervals, uh, okay, these intervals are called half open intervals. Okay, half open intervals. So that's it about that is concludes your first part. Let us now see some of the problems from this. Okay, fundamentals of sets. We'll continue with the second part little once I finish these sums. One, one. Question is rewrite the following sets in set builder notation. The set here is -9, -7, -5, -3, -1. Okay, how will you write this in set builder notation? You will first define a variable x such that, now you see all the numbers here are negative numbers and they are odd numbers also. Okay, and odd numbers, what is the form of the odd numbers? You know that the form of the odd number is 2n minus 1. So I write x is equal to 2n minus 1. But because they are all odd, you can introduce a negative sign here. Okay, so minus of 2 and minus 1. And what is n here? N obviously belongs to, n is a natural number, obviously, but n has a certain range. How many numbers are we looking for? We are looking for 5 numbers in the set. So therefore, n less than or equal to 5, n belongs to a set of natural numbers. I hope this notation is clear. Next is the set of even numbers between 27 and 39. What are the set of even numbers between 27 and 39? I will first define a variable. And because x is an even number, x will always be of the form 2n, right? Okay. And what will n lie between? If you see, these numbers will lie between 27 and 39. So 27, after 27 is which number? 28 divided by 2, 14. That means n must lie between 14. And what else? It's not x, this is n. And it is less than 39. Before 39, which is the even number? 38 divided by 2, how much do you get? 19. So it must lie between 14 and 19, where n belongs to the set of natural numbers. Okay. Third one, the set of real numbers less than or equal to 10, but not equal to 5. How will you represent this in set builder form? Define a variable x, the set of real numbers. So x definitely belongs to R, but we are going to write that a little later. The set of real numbers less than or equal to 10. So which means x must be less than or equal to 10. Okay, but not equal to 5. So next restriction is that x cannot be equal to 5, and x is a real number. Okay, so what kind of a set is this? Is this a is this a I mean finite set or infinite set? An infinite set, obviously. Next question is, rewrite the following sets in roster form. Y such that y is equal to 5x minus 2, y belongs to n. Okay, so what is this set? And y is a natural number, x must also be a natural number. If y is a natural number, so put x is equal to 1, you get 3. Put x is equal to 2, you get 7. Put x is equal to 3, you get 13. Put x is equal to 4, you get 18. Put x is equal to 5, you'll get 23, and so on. This will continue. This is also an infinite set written in tabular form or roster form. Next set given here is a is equal to 3n plus 5. N is a natural number and n less than or equal to 6. Okay. So what is this in the roster form? Put n is equal to, because n is a natural number and n is less than or equal to 6, put n is equal to 1 first, you get 8. Right? Put n is equal to 2, you get 11. Put n is equal to 3, you get 14. Put n is equal to 4, you get 17. N is equal to 5, you get 20. And finally, you get put n is equal to 6, you get 23. And you cannot put anything further than this because n is less than or equal to 6. Okay. Okay. Next one is x such that x is equal to 3p plus 1 divided by 2p minus 1. P belongs to W. W means whole numbers. P less than or equal to 5. Okay. So P is a whole number and P is less than or equal to 5. You do exactly the same. That is, if P is a whole number and P is less than or equal to 5, you start with 0, put P is equal to 0. You will get this fraction as minus 1. Put P is equal to 1, you will get this fraction as 4. Put P is equal to 3, you get this fraction as 7 by 3. Put P is equal to 4, you get this as 2. P is equal to 5, you get 13 by 7. P is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally, you put 5, which is 16 by 9. Okay, this is what you will get. All these sets rewritten in roster form. Okay. Next question. State whether the following sets are finite or infinite. First one, the set of lines which are parallel to the x-axis, finite or infinite? Obviously infinite. There can be infinite number of lines that are parallel to the x-axis, right? Next, set of letters in English alphabet. You know there are 26 letters in the English alphabet. So this obviously is finite. Next, number 3, the set of numbers which are multiples of 5. Obviously an infinite set. You can have infinitely many multiples of 5. The set of animals living on earth, this is finite because the earth itself is finite. So therefore, the number of animals living has to be finite. Next, the set of circles through the origin. This has to be infinite. There can be many circles through the origin. There can be infinitely many circles through the origin. Therefore, this is an infinite set. The set of whole numbers greater than 5. Obviously an infinite set. Stop me if you disagree. The set of natural numbers less than 1 billion. Natural number less than 1 billion you can count, isn't it? Therefore, this is a finite set. The set of integers between -4 and 4. Obviously a finite set. What are the integers between -4 and 4? -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. These are the integers. So obviously it is a finite set. The set of rational numbers between 0 and 1. Okay. I forgot to write 1 here. Add a 1 between 0 and 1. Set of rational numbers. This obviously is an infinite set. There can be many rational numbers between 0 and 1. You cannot count how many rational numbers are there. So many fractions are there between 0 and 1. Okay, so that finishes this part of the question. Move on to the next question, next part, which is which of the following sets are empty sets? First of all, first question, is this an empty set? No, it is not an empty set. Why? Because it contains the element 0. Next is x such that x square plus 1 is equal to 0, x belongs to R. Now, I have already mentioned this to you when I was discussing empty sets. This is obviously an empty set because the solution of this equation cannot be real. So therefore, this is an empty set. And next question is E is equal to x such that x is less than 5, x is greater than 7, x belongs to n. Okay. So x is less than 5 and x is greater. Can a number be less than 5 and greater than 7 at the same time? It cannot be. So therefore, this is an empty set. Okay. We move on to the next one, number 5. Are the following sets equal? You have the set A is equal to 2, 3, and you have the set B is equal to, so A is equal to 2, 3, and you have B is equal to x such that x square plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. X belongs to the set of integers. Now what you do is you try to solve this quadratic. So this can be written as x square plus 2x plus 3x plus 6 is equal to 0. X belongs to z, to x such that you can factorize this as x plus 2 into x plus 3 equal to 0. X belongs to set of integers. That means what are the solutions of this equation? -2 and -3, right? So are A and B equal? Right? They are not equal. Second one, A is the set of letters of the word follow, FOLLOW, and B is WOLF. Are they equal? If you see, all the elements of A are in B and all the elements of B are in A. So here A is equal to B. Both sets are equal. Okay. Number 3. C is equal to 2, 4, 5, 9, and you have D is equal to 2, 9, 5, 4, 9, 2. Again, you see all the elements of C are in D and all the elements of D are in C. So you see that hence, although their cardinalities are different, that is, they are not equivalent, still they are equal, even if they are not equivalent. Okay. Let's start with the next question. Use interval notation to represent the following sets. Number 1. Look at this. X such that -17 less than x less than 0. X belongs to R. Now how will you represent this in interval? See that x lies between, uh, x is a real number obviously, and x lies between -17 and 0. How many real numbers between -17 and 0? Infinitely many. Now if you see, there is no equality here, right? This is a pure inequality. So therefore I will use a parenthesis. So -17. Also you see that this is also a pure, here you have a pure inequality, right? Associated with 0. So that means we give a comma, right? 0. This is the interval. Is it clear? Interval is very important because we shall be using intervals later on. Next is x such that 6 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 12. X belongs to R. How will you represent this in interval notation? This set is the same as, now if you see, this set consists of all the real numbers between 6 and 12, and you see equality also associated with 6, the lower number. The lower number is 6 and you have an equality here. That means I'll use a box bracket in the left part and I'll write a 6 here. You see the higher number here, higher number is 12. And this is also an inequality which contains equality sign. So therefore I will give a comma. I will write this as 12 and I will close this. Is it clear? Now, before proceeding, I would like to just make a note and then proceed. I'll do the rest of the problems tomorrow. Now, there are something called as the half open intervals containing infinity. So if I am writing minus infinity to 2, what is this set? X such that x lies between minus infinity and 2, right? And x belongs to R. Now remember, whenever you have an infinity here, you always give a parenthesis. We cannot, mostly we don't associate a box bracket with an infinity. Okay. If you have an interval like this, minus infinity plus infinity, now obviously I've given, see, parentheses I've given on both sides because both have infinities. This is the same as the set of real numbers. Okay, please take a note of all this. If I write, say, minus 5 infinity, what does this mean? This means x such that x lies between minus 5 and infinity. X belongs to R. So all the real numbers that are greater than minus 5 up to infinity is belongs to this set. Okay. So that's it. This is the most important one. Please remember this, that this interval minus infinity to plus infinity means the set of real numbers. Whether you write this way or whether you write this. All these notations we'll be using later on. Okay. So I'll stop here.